crushed with my dream awry when they realized I wore contacts. Growing up in this state, I remember feeling so envious of our heroes, like those that we're here to honor today, as everyone who lined the causeways near the Cape, to watch the liftoffs, or those who kept their eyes glued to their televisions, to watch the magnificent feats of our heroes. In college, I remember being recruited to the Navy's nuclear-powered submarine program. Not quite aviation, but I was blessed to fly not up, but down the water. I remember proudly raising my hand to support and defend the Constitution, as these three brave men once did. I remember reporting aboard Naval Ordnance Test Unit and learning about its importance here at the Cape, to our nation's defense. And because of my privileged position, I will always remember the honor of being asked to represent the Navy at the ceremony. Today, I remember we are gathered here to remember these three courageous men, theirs and their families, sacrifice, and how important it was to our nation and its history. I remember that these three past tragedies are linked to the dreams of our nation, exploration of the seas and stars, surveying the future to educate us on the past, creating new environments to study and to learn. This, in turn, continues to challenge our ideas and dreams. I know that we will all remember our Apollo 1 crew today and this very spot where their commitment to our future cost them and their families the ultimate price. I salute them and I salute you for their contribution to space, exploration, our military, and our country. Thank you.
Also joining us this evening, we have with us the Center Director of the John F. Kennedy Space Center, Mr. Robert Cabana.
It's a real honor for me to be able to represent NASA at this ceremony, to see so many folks here turn out this year. You know, in the astronaut office, we kind of look at who trained us and who our commander was. And I like to think that I was essentially trained by Gus Grissom. And the reason I say this is Gus Grissom trained John Young on Gemini 1. John Young trained Brewster Shaw on STS-9. Brewster Shaw trained Dick Richards on his flight, and Dick Richards was my commander on STS-41. So that makes me like Gus's great father, right? You know, I've been blessed in my career to be able to get to know a lot of the early astronauts and call many of them friends. We also have with us tonight a moonwalker, another tie back to Gus, who flew with John Young, Charlie Duke and his wife Dottie. And getting to know all of them, I really feel blessed. This year, on the 50th anniversary of Apollo 1, we pulled together a memorial over at the Saturn V facility to honor the crew. And we worked very closely with the families. And I want to thank Betty and Scott and Martha and Cheryl and Bonnie Bear White for helping us pull together such an amazing tribute to this crew. It's really important that we come together and we don't forget who they were and what they sacrificed. Even more important, we remember that we don't ever want to have it happen again. We have to learn from it. And having this ceremony, having that display at the Kennedy Space Center, that memorial, bringing folks in to see it firsthand, I think it's important. Challenger and Columbia are remembered, that Apollo 1 is remembered, and that we take steps to ensure that we create an environment in all that we do where everybody has a voice, everybody is listened to, all the data is evaluated, that we don't push so fast and so hard that we take shortcuts and safety is compromised, that we really work to ensure our success and the safety of the crew as we continue to explore and move beyond our planet. Never has it been more important than it is right now as we prepare SLS and Orion to launch from Pad 39B as commercial operations start to take over and Boeing and SpaceX fly crews to the International Space Station? The lessons learned from Apollo 1 are critical to our future success, and I don't ever want them forgotten. I think Mike Collins said it best yesterday at our Day of Remembrance when he said, "We got to the moon not in spite of Apollo 1, but because of Apollo 1. We stand on the shoulders of Gus, Ed, and Roger. They made it possible. They made it so that other crews could be successful and safely make it to and from the moon and beyond. And we're going to continue to keep this tradition alive. We're going to continue to keep their memories alive and ensure that we do our very best that it never happens again." Thank you.
Please welcome Colonel Walt Jackman, the Vice Commander of the 45th Space Flight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the first time I've been able to attend this ceremony, and I feel very privileged to be here. While I was preparing, I looked over the lives of the three astronauts that we honored here today, and I found a quote that stood out from Lieutenant Colonel Edward H. White. It says this: "A good man's life is never quite ended. Something of it always remains to touch and illuminate other lives." And as we stand here at this Space Launch Complex, it occurs to me that this program is in the shadow of great and powerful programs. Tonight we're surrounded by names like Delta, like Atlas, like Thor, like Falcon, like Challenger, like Atlantis and Discovery. And yet, the lives of these men can never be overshadowed by these programs. The sound of those thrusters can never touch us and shake us like the courage and sacrifice shown by those three astronauts. And the rockets and the engines can never burn as brightly and illuminate the world as much as the lives and the memories of these three astronauts. We remember them as astronauts, but we also remember them as military professionals who gave the ultimate sacrifice to move America forward in what they consider to be a desperate race of good and evil. We remember them today as astronauts, as aviators, and as fellow citizens, and they are never forgotten.